All right. We're back. My name's Eric. You're watching Sideboard MTG here on YouTube Gaming. We're going to be going over the rest of the set. We had the big common dump, and it come with a lot of cards. So we've got a lot to go through, and we're going to talk about all of the commons and uncommons. Some of them will not be playable, and some of them will. So stick around, and we'll give you our thoughts. And when I say ours, I mean we're live. You got me, and you got chat. So if you're live with us, then by all means, please chime in and chat. Let us know what you think about a particular card. And if you like the content in general, don't forget to hit the like button. If you like, if you want to be back for more of the content, then hit the subscribe button so you get the bell and with the little bell notifications, all those things. You know, YouTube stuff. Do it. You know how YouTube works. All right, so jump over here and let's talk about the first one of these. Bring to Trial. All right, so we're going to be starting with a bunch of white cards by the looks of it. It may bounce around a little bit. I don't know exactly how the layout is here on MTG Salvation, but we're going to be talking about these cards. So we've got a lot of people here in chat. Barry Drake with the exclamation point like. Absolutely, hit that like button. That helps a ton. If you want to share the video or anything, if you like the content, subscribe to the content. You know how YouTube works. Anyway, McFats, you guys think any sagas which see no play now? Alright, so as far as like sagas go, I think that the deck we were just playing could have made use of one of the sagas. Actually, somebody mentioned it. I forget which saga. I can't think of the name of it. Antiquities War. I think Antiquities War might have more of a chance, as we might have a few more artifacts to play around with. And after we get through the end of these, we want to go look at a particular type of card, colorless cards, multicolor cards, artifacts, that sort of thing. We can check that out. But for right now, we're going to talk about these commons and uncommons. So here we go. We get a 3-mana sorcery that says exile target creature with power 4 or greater. It's nothing we've never seen before. This is like Elspeth's ability, destroying target creature with power 4 or greater. So they're big creatures. You can normally take those down with white cards. Not that uncommon to see this type of restriction on a card. So right, Whaler's Shot, that sort of thing. Absolutely. So I mean the card's not amazing, but it's also not going to be a really bad card in your limited decks and things like that. So I mean, removal is always really good in limited, so it makes sense that this will be around. All right, so that was, yeah, there we go. That was Bring to Trial. We got Civic Stalwart. All right, Civic Stalwart is a 4-mana Elephant Soldier for 3. Sorry, 4-mana 3/3 Elephant Soldier that when it enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+1. It's got charge on it, right? So basically, he hits the battlefield and screams "Charge!" and all of your creatures get that +1/+1 and just kind of get in. I don't really know. I don't really know how much I like this card. I like the fact that it's a it's a body. Like, it's charge on a body, so even after the charge is done, you're still left with a 3/3. So, that's not horrible, and if you had a really good go-wide strategy, it might actually be playable. So, not a horrible card, but not exactly what I'm looking for either. Sorry. Concordia Pegasus. 2 mana for a 1/3 with flying. If you had a blue-white Flyers deck, you're really going to want to draft these. Just having the Flyers is pretty sweet. So, like in draft, that blue-white Flyers deck looks like it's going to be really good. So, you like the flavor text. Love the flavor text. Well, what does the flavor text say? What makes a frog lizard any worse than a bird horse? What makes a frog lizard any worse than a bird horse? Prejudice against the Simic. That's what. It's unfair. Okay. It's a bird horse. Like, why is the frog lizard so bad? right? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So just a good limited card. You want to draft 2 drops anyway, so this is pretty decent. We get exposed to daylight. Now this one's instant speed, so it's worth looking at. A 3 mana, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and you get to scry 1. Depending on if the meta is fast or slow, once we get into the next set, it's going to decide whether or not you want this or you want to invoke the divine. Now invoke the divine does exile that artifact or enchantment, which is a little bit different, and then you gain 4 life. If I'm not mistaken, I think I'm right on the. I think that one's exile, but this one's going to give you scry. So, like, if you're not worried about the extra life gain or anything else, maybe you want the extra card selection, and scry will be fine for that. So, how do you pronounce that name? Which name? You talking about Concordia Pegasus? I don't know. All right, Axebane Beast here. So, Axebane Beast is a 4 mana 3/4. There you go. That's it. It's a 4 mana 3/4 and it's a beast. Yep. Imagine a gigantic Pinecone that's extremely territorial and always in a foul mood. That's at least it has good flavor text, right? All right, a gigantic Pinecone. Hazda Officer. Now this is a 3 mana 3/2 human soldier, and when Hazda Officer enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Now, 1 mana cheaper. Okay, so invoke the divine is destroy. It's not exile. Thanks, Jack. But it's still gain 4 life, right? So then there's not a whole lot of difference. It's like if you don't need the life gain, you go for the card selection with the scry. If you do need the life gain, you go for invoke the divine, right? So if we have a fast meta, invoke the divine is still better. If we got a slow meta, then the extra scry is going to help. So they're both 3 mana though, instant speed. So all right, Hazda Officer, a little bit cheaper than the card we checked just a moment ago that had charge on it, but it's only going to give charge to one particular creature. It's not going to actually give your entire battlefield the +1/+1. So maybe playable because it's a 3-drop. 3 mana 3/2s, they're okay. Again, you might want to this in draft, but I doubt this gets much standard play. All right, next here we got Enraged Ceratok. All right, so the Enraged Ceratok, we get a Rhino. It's a 4 mana 4/4. So double green and 2 will get you a 4/4 that can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. We see this on Stillleaf Champion right now. It's fairly common way of giving things the evasion in combat. Like we see wizards do this from time to time. One of the first ones I seen was a card named like a Hero of Oxid Ridge. I think that was it. Might have been. No, it wasn't Hero of Bladehold. I think it was Hero of Oxid Ridge. It said like creatures with 1 power or something like that couldn't block, or token creatures couldn't block, or something like that. So, and then we started getting these effects and stuff. So, not bad. And in a mono green deck, this might be playable. I don't know. We'll see. Next here we have Impassioned Order. All right, so like he's really passionate about telling the people. In times of unrest, the crowd is eager for the comfort of strong convictions. 2 mana 2/2. All right, so passes the vanilla test. That's not that bad. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So this is a Soul Sister. They should have made this a female, just because of like Soul Sisters, right? Like that's what we call that deck, the Soul Sisters. And we're going to have that effect here in Standard. I mean, you've got cards like a Johnny's Welcome, and you've got, now we have this, so you get to play like, a Johnny's Pridemate. If you have those on the battlefield, you're going to gain multiple, triggers there for gaining life, which will give multiple triggers to Johnny's Pridemate. This card could actually get some play, and this card could actually get some build around. Like this could be a key card in some certain strategies. I I'd actually be impressed if this didn't get play. So, let's be inclusive. Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Gift of Strength. Some guys were talking about this one earlier, saying that this card would pair well with a couple other cards. Isn't that the same guy spitting gold out of his mouth? What? I gotta go back. I gotta go back. What? Is this the same dude that's spitting gold out of his mouth in one of the other? We'll go check that enchantment later. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the same art. Alright, so let's go to Gift of Strength. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains reach until end of turn. Not bad. It's not Titanic Growth. This is what? Giant Growth? +3/+3? I think that's Giant Growth. Titanic Growth's 4. I think Giant Growth was 3. But we get reach, so this is pretty decent. I mean, giving us reach to be able to block flyers is pretty cool. You see these godlike beings fighting in the background. That's awesome. I mean, this is like Platius Moor back here. I guess that's Platia. Kind of looks like Platia. And then I don't know who the Centaur is, but no, the Centaur's Nika of the Old Ways. Okay. When the sky screams, when the grounds groan, and the end rays will soon begin. Oh, the end rays will soon begin. Yeah, I can't read. Good combat trick. Yeah, +3/+3 for 2 mana is not bad. It's definitely possibly playable. Alright, one of my favorites of the new spoilers. Talk about a good combat trick. Here's you a good combat trick, right? You can't stop me! That's probably Rush. Alright, Justicar's Portal. 2 mana for an instant speed. Exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. It gains first strike until end of turn. Hey, what happened to Bobo? I don't know. I don't know. You like this one? Yeah, this is a good card. This card's really good, actually. Yeah, this card's awesome. This card will get play, guys. This card's a trick you're going to have to worry about. So, imagine this in just an Orzhov deck. Like, we're not even going to get fancy with all the weird things that you could do with this. But let's just go ahead and say we're in Orzhov, and we have the access to black, and we had a Ravenous Chupacabra on the battlefield. Alright, you don't have to spend mana. You don't have to worry about timing restrictions. You just blink it. Just off the battlefield, back on the battlefield, and now it's got first strike. If it had to enter the battlefield trigger, bam, you get another enter the battlefield trigger. And then you get to block with a first striker. So cards like Ravenous Chupacabra with cards like this are really going to be huge swings. Talking about swinging the advantage bar in the other direction, you blink at Chupacabra and then block a, something with 2 power. That's going to be big. That's going to be really, really big. So, Justicar's Portal. Get ready for it. Resto Angel Memories Ignited. Yeah. For those of you that remember Restoration Angel, we haven't had a lot of really good blink effects since Restoration Angel. We had Venser around the time that we had Restoration Angel. There were a couple decent, blink effects when we were using like Feldar Guardian, making copies and blinking Saheeli Ra and things like that. Now, this is only a creature, but still a really, really good card, so it's something to think about. Is the music a little loud? Alright, that's Justicar's Portal. I think the card's really good. I think this one's playable. Mammoth Spider, card we've seen. This has been reprinted in a ton. Flicker Wisp, there you go. Mammoth Spider's been seen a lot. A lot of sets. It's just a really big spider. Has reach, 3/5, good body. It's not Ishkana, but it's not bad. I mean, in limited, if you're not in the blue-white Flyers deck, you're probably going to want access to this. So, like, pull pull your Mammoth Spiders if you're not in the blue-white flyers, because you're going to run across the guy who is in blue-white flyers, and you're going to wish you had reach. So, doesn't that mean we steal their creature, play this, then we keep the creature for good, like Cloud Shift? So no. Justicar's Portal actually says battlefield under its owner's control. Yeah. Yeah. That's there's your little clause right there, under its owner's control. Alright. So don't blink creatures you've taken from your opponents. Alright. Alright, so we looked at Mammoth Spider. Now we're on Knight of Sorrows. Alright, so this is a 5-mana 3/3. Knight of Sorrows can block an additional creature each combat. Has Afterlife 1, which means, you know, if you kill it, they're going to get a, or let's say you have it on your side of the battlefield and they kill your creature, you're going to get that, that extra, you know, little body out of it. You're going to get that black-white flyer. Black-white spirit creature token, 1/1 black-white spirit creature. So, yeah, I mean, it's okay. I don't think this is, like, seriously playable. Yes, it will block other things. I think the art is really cool. Like, she looks cool. I'm assuming it's a she. But, the art, I like the art. Like, that armor is just wicked, and, like, the posture's so good. Like, I like the art. But the converted mana cost is just, it's too much for a 3/3, even with Afterlife 1, even though it can block additional creatures each combat. I just don't. I don't think that it's that playable, even in limited. So, common that'll be around, but I doubt we're going to get much play out of it. So, Knight of Sorrows. All right, next here we have Open the Gates. Here's another one that'll get some play, ladies and gentlemen. This will see play. Alright, search your library for a basic land card or gate card, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your library. Yep. You like the last one's art too? Yeah, the bright yellow armor and the cloudy background. Something about that art, it just looks really good, right? Alright. I know Attune with Aether was broken because, like, it gave you the extra energy. But the basis of Attune with Aether was really nice, right? Like, when we lost that, we lost the ability to get into some of our more, like, of our 4-color decks and things like that. But this is going to fix that, right? When you're running this card, you're going to be able to either run less lands, or you're going to be able to run, like, more colors, things like that. And, you know, as long as you go a base in green so that you can play this early, you'll be able to go get the, you'll be able to go get the other color that you need, right? Like, so that you can make the rest of your lands come in untapped and things like that. So, this card is pretty good, guys. Like, 5-color Gates needs this card. Yeah, absolutely. This is another piece to the Gates card that you 100% want. Even if you don't need this in the Gates card, isn't Flower just better? Okay, so Flower can only go get you a forest or a plains, right? Like, you run this in a deck that might need to go get a mountain, an island, or a swamp, right? Now, if you are only looking to go dig up a forest or a plains, then yes, Flower's better. It just is. And if you're not looking to go get a gate, then yeah, Flower is 100% better. However, if you need anything other than a forest or a plains, and I assume you don't need a forest since you have green mana to cast this, then you're going to want this. Either way, again, losing Attune with Aether in that banning actually shut down a lot of our 3 and 4 color decks. And it was because we no longer had that early mana fixing. This is really, really good for that. This is a highly playable card. And it's a common. It's a common. So this is going to open the gates for a lot of play. So I look forward to seeing this in standard. Just because it's in standard makes other possibilities open up. Good card. And it's baseline, right? Like, 1 mana, go search up a basic, call it a day, right? Even if it did nothing else, 1 mana, go search a basic, done. right? Thinking about mono green ramp right now, wondering if Enter the Unknown is an option with this. Possibly, but you may end up with too many of like these type effects, and I don't know if you want that or not. So, alright, we've got a Blade Brand here. Now this is a 2-mana instant speed. Target creature gains death touch until end of turn. Draw a card. Personally, for 1 black mana, you could actually just run the split card to give something death touch. For 2 black, or for 2 mana, we actually get away with giving that death touch and drawing a card, so the card will replace itself, which isn't bad. So there could be some play here. Like if you're interested in giving a creature death touch, you may just want to run status statue. But you also may just want to run this. Now, there are some cards like Goblin Chain Whirler that, you know, with the trigger on the stack, that if you could somehow give, if you could somehow give, you know, Goblin Chain Whirler Death Touch before his trigger resolves, then he will just wipe the opposing side of the battlefield. So that's something to think about. And you know, this could take place in those type decks. However, we're not seeing them right now in Goblin Chain Whirler decks. Goblin Chain Whirler is like really hard to cast, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a moment. All right, so next here we get Prowling Caracal. It's a 2-mana 3/1. I don't think you really want to be playing this, maybe in limited, but cool cat, and you know, just a hunter in the city requires the utmost cunning to survive. It must pounce only if the kill is certain, and leave the remains where no one will see. Okay, Prowling Caracal, 2-mana 3/1. That's it. All right, moving on to Blood Mist Infiltrator. We get a 3-mana 3/1. Okay, so this is, as far as stats go, this is worse than the Caracal. But we get an effect on this one. Whenever Blood Mist Infiltrator attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. Whoa, 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 we've been looking for these effects. You may sacrifice another creature. If you do, Blood Mist Infiltrator can't be blocked this turn. That might make this playable, right? So we get a natural sack option, right? Being able to like just declare attack. I love the art. Like he's turning to blood, like a bloody mist. Oh, blood mist, and just kind of going through the bars, right? Going through unhindered, unblockable, if you will. We need ways to sack cards in the Judith deck, so this might get play. This might get play. Aristocrats is 4-color, calling it now. What's the 3rd color? I know that we're in Mardu, right? But what's the 4th color? I mean, like what other color do we need in Aristocrats? If like, are you saying we need blue, or are we looking for green in Aristocrats? This card is interesting. Can't think of anything off the top of your head that makes it worth it, but you guys probably have a bunch. Yeah, just the sack option. You know, when you're running in an Aristocrat style deck, you're going to want as many free sack options as you can get, and just declaring attack. You get in for 3 additional damage. You sack a dude. If you have Judith on the battlefield, you deal an additional point of damage to something. So it'd be worth it. Yeah. Anyway, Jack, got to get rested for your flight. Have a good one, sir. The replay will be on YouTube later, man. All right, so Blood Mist Infiltrator, it could be playable. It could be playable. All right, next here we have Rampaging Reinhorn. It's a 5-mana 4/4 with Riot, so it could be a 5-mana 5/5 or 4/4 with Haste. That's it. That's it. Tumult in its natural habitat. I probably said it wrong. I don't think there's much else to say about that card. Alright, so we're going to move on to Carrion Imp. Alright, Carrion Imp enters the battlefield. You may exile target creature card from a graveyard. If you do, you gain 2 life. Alright, so 4-mana 2/3 with flying. Maybe in draft if you want the flying deck, flyers decks in draft and stuff like that. So, it's been asked a million times, but what do I foresee being the breakout deck for the new release? Breakout decks for the new release, I think that there's going to be a Gruul-based deck. So a red-green based. Now, I don't necessarily know if that's going to be like a red-green-blue, red-green-white. We could see it in Naya, we could see it in Temur, we could see it in a bunch of different colors. But I think there's going to be a red-green haste-style deck. The deck seems to have all the parts there. We seem to be getting a lot of parts for the Gates deck, and I expect people to try the Gates deck. I'm still looking for a good payoff in the end for Gates, and haven't really like seen the best payoff, like, you know, just the game-ending payoff yet. Like, if you control 10 Gates with different names, you automatically win the game. Like we don't exactly have that yet, but like I'm expecting, you know, the Gates deck to kind of come together. Yes, everybody's expecting Esper control. Like, Esper's, you're out. Well, rush. Take care, sir. Get some sleep and be safe in your drives. I definitely expect Esper to be good because Esper is typically better than Jeskai, things like that. If you guys remember in the past, we had like the blue, like in the last season, at the beginning of the season, before we had all the cards available to us, we were playing a lot of red-blue control decks, and then as we got the rest of the cards, that shifted over to blue-white control decks, and then now, you know, we lost some of those blue-white lands, which shifted us back to like Jeskai, and now I think that Jeskai is going to shift back over to Esper. So I just think that, you know, the power shift's kind of moving where the mana is consistent. And I just think that with cards like Kaya's Wrath and things like that, there's going to be some play there in Esper. You think a Naya Mentor Riot aggro deck? That could be possible. That could definitely be possible. It looks like be good. If you can't, be careful. I like that, Barry. Rush, be good, and if you can't be good, be careful. That's words of wisdom. If you can't be good at it. There you go. Yeah, okay, so blue-white control, all the support's already there. They're just waiting on the lands, right? Like, we didn't need blue-white control cards to be printed. They're already in the format. We're just not playing most of the blue-white control cards because we don't have the lands to make it consistent. The blue-white control support is in the lands. Now, there's going to be a separate blue-white archetype. It looks like they're trying to turn mono blue into like the mono blue tempo deck into a blue-white tempo deck, things like that. So yeah, there's going to be some fun there. So when you're up to your nose, keep your mouth shut. There you go. You guys. Alright, so Carrion Imp. I don't really like this card. I don't want to pay 4 mana for this effect. I might play it in like limited or something if I wanted flyers, but I really don't like the effect. Guess what? Root Snare. Prevent all combat damage. It would be dealt this turn. Instant speed. Oh, yeah. Yep. Reprinted. It's here. Alright. We got Pause for Reflection, and now we get Root Snare again. Yep. I'll wait. I'll let this sink in for everybody. Yep. Moving on. Summary Judgement. Okay, so 2 mana instant speed, so 1 white, 1 colorless. Summary Judgement deals 3 damage to target tapped creature, and if you cast this during your main phase, it'll deal 5 damage. That's not bad, right? So Nexus of Fog, right? Taking turns is going to make a comeback. Yeah, the deck's not bad already, and then, you know, just making sure that, you know, these cards aren't rotating out and you have multiple copies in the format. It's definitely going to make the Fog deck, you know, decent for a while. So, Summary Judgement might actually get play, guys. I mean, instant speed, deal 3 damage to target tapped creature, so they declare attack, and you burn it. Yeah, McFats has got a good point. Bobby Q, it's good to see you again, man. Addendum. Addendum's got some cool effects. I mean, just casting this at sorcery speed. It's 2 mana, so it kind of gives you something to do with your Teferi anyway. Like, you want to tap at least 2 mana during your turn, so like Addendum might not be that bad. This is probably a pretty decently playable card. If there's a lot of enchantment-based removal and stuff like that, then you may want to start backing off of Sealaways and Baffling Ends for your early removal, and then this will be just fine. So, okay, so James Carr just said Sealaway versus Summary Judgment. Again, if people are running a lot of enchantment-based removal, and we see that in the format in general, which it might happen, then just having instant speed spells is going to work. And there's going to be some cases where you're like, you know what, that Niv Mizzet, you're going to draw a card, but I've got to burn it. I've got to just use my 2 mana spell here and just get rid of that Niv Mizzet. However, it's not going to stop a card like Doom Whisper, right? So, just be aware of it. But all in all, this is a really solid card and could easily see some play. So, moving on to, oh goodness, Sagittars Volley. I ain't even gonna try to pronounce it again. Anyway, instant speed, destroy target creature with flying, and it deals 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent's control. Whoa, what? Alright, so you just kill 1 outright, and then deal 1 damage to all the other flyers. So if you got a bunch of Thopters, I'm going to just take out your Lyra, or take out your Tempest Djinn, and then all of your other cards go with, all your other little 1/1 flyers go with it. This could be decent. I mean, there's a lot of people that like playing like Plummet and those style cards already, Crushing Canopy and things like that. So yeah, Mono Blue is sad to see this. Not really. I mean, they go to target my Tempest Djinn, and I dive down, and now we've countered the entire ability. If they go to target my Tempest Djinn and you have a 1 mana creature that has flying, which, what is that? That's a Siren Stormtamer? You sack the Siren Stormtamer and protect the Djinn anyway? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's that bad for Mono Blue. I was just using that as an example, though. But what about all the spirits? Spirits, right? Now, I will say this. If you have Afterlife on the flyer that you kill, you will have to resolve this entire ability before the Afterlife trigger will give them their spirit. So you'll kill something that has Afterlife and flying. You'll kill all their other spirits. Then the Afterlife will go off and put another spirit onto the battlefield. So with all the spirits, all the Afterlife, this could be a really, really good card. This is going to be a good sideboard card. Too bad you don't play those on Arena. Womp womp. Yeah. Sideboards. Nobody plays sideboards. Alright, so here we've got Catacomb Crocodile. I am going to read the flavor text because that's all there is. But it's a 5 mana 3/7. I don't think it gets play. But it's got some cool flavor text, right? I am Sewer King, said Rat. I am quick and cunning, and I know every tunnel. No, I am king, said Zombie. I am cold and deadly, and no rot can harm me. Then Croc came and ate them both. Alright, moving on, because that's the highlight of that card. 4 mana, 2/3, flying, Afterlife 1, earlier, last card we were talking about, our card before the Croc. We were talking about shooting down flyers that had Afterlife. This could be one of those. Now that's a 4 mana 2/3 with flying. You're going to want this in limited in your blue-white flyers deck. You'll take this most of the time. Not a bad card, but whatever. It's the Sewer Gator from Resident Evil 2. There you go. That's right. Syndicate Messenger, maybe in draft, but I don't think you're going to want this anywhere else. So we're going to move on to Saruli Caretaker. I probably didn't say that right. Alright, it's a 1 mana 0/3. Tap an untapped creature you control, add 1 mana of any color. Okay, so this is a little bit worse than it looks. I am going to say that the art looks wicked, okay? Like, just the flow of this plant, even the giant acorn she's holding, the flow of her hair into the leaves, the art is awesome, okay? I love the art on this card. But as far as the card itself goes, you got to tap 2 creatures to get the effect of a Llanowar Elf. Now, it is a 0/3, it will stick around, but it's a defender, so I don't know. You love tapping extra junk for mana, right? Right off the bat, you like it because you can't just tap it by itself to produce a mana, so it doesn't produce a second land. It doesn't produce. You don't have 3 mana on turn 2 with this card. That's why it's not a great card. You do not have 3 mana on turn 2 with this card. Which is kind of the point of a Llanowar Elf, right? So this is a strictly worse Llanowar Elf. You need a second creature to make this work. So now that second creature could still have summoning sickness because it's being tapped by this ability, right? So like, you could play this on turn 1 and then play Llanowar Elf on turn 2 and use this to tap the Llanowar Elf, or tap, there you go. You can play this on 1, play Imara on 2, use this to tap Imara. Now that might be playable because, you know, not only do you get your 3rd mana, even though you can't make a 3 mana play, you get your 3rd mana, and you get to make a token off Imara. Like, that could be a good play, right? Like, that could be decent. But not being able to just naturally produce your 3rd mana, then I don't really like this card. So at first glance, you'll be like, man, that's awesome. But then when you think about it a little bit more, and you think about, like, the whole point of having Llanowar Elf, this kind of misses the point. So then you convoke the elephant next turn, right? There you go. Seems good. Seems good. Alright, so Cerulean Caretaker. Next here we got 10th District Veteran. Man, there's some stuff going down in the 10th District. Alright, there's always some cards, some stuff going on over in 10th District. But it's a 3 mana 2/3 with vigilance, and when it attacks, untap another target creature you control. So you get to declare attackers, and, you know, your creatures tap, and then this one immediately would untap something. If you had something that had an actual tap effect on it, this might get played, right? Like, if you had some kind of Krinko, you know, goblin ball, like, what was the goblin? What was the boss? Krinko, was it Krinko War Boss? I don't remember. But if you had something, that actually had a really good effect on it, that, you know, you tap, this might be worth playing, right? So we'll see. Yeah, Crinkle Mob Boss. There we go. There we go. Kiki Jiki. Okay. Alright, so you would attack, untap Kiki Jiki. Mirror Breaker. Okay. So, like, yeah, again, if you had something that had a really sweet tap ability, then this might get play. Otherwise, stay away from this. Alright, moving on to Clear the Stage. Alright, 5 mana, instant speed. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you may return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So if you've already got a big dude, your 5 mana -3/-3. Seems limited playable, right? It is instant speed, so untap the Birthing Pod creature. Yes. Yes, I like that, because then you get to go get a 4-drop, because, like, you just get rid of this dude, like, trade your 3-drop in for a 4. Yeah, the Birthing Pod creature could be it. So you're looking at, like, a Bant Birthing Pod. You know, that what was that? Vanafear? Is that creature's name? Removal and recursion sounds good. It does, but -3/-3, and you have to have a creature with power 4 or greater on the battlefield already. I don't know. Yeah. So. Yeah. Anyway, you don't get to go, like, Kiki Jiki doesn't, like, let you go infinite, but I guess you guys already figured that out. Alright, so, the other card's limited playable for sure. I mean, you're gonna want good removal in limited, so. Alright, so Twilight Panther, it's a 1 mana, 1/2, survives Goblin Chain Whirler, and you can pay 1 black to give it Death Touch until end of turn. So, again, for some reason, I just like this sweeping, you know, like art, like that this cat is a spirit, and you know, like I like that effect. So I think that's pretty cool. Twilight Panther could get play, maybe. I don't know. Skittering, Heartstopper, and wipe. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So we didn't see Skittering Heartstopper get much play, so well, I doubt we're going to see much play out of this. Consigned to the pit. 6 mana sorcery. Destroy target creature consigned to the pit. Deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. Blah. Moving on. All right. That's about how much I got to say about it. 6 mana kill spell. Sorcery speed. Moving on. Steeple Creeper. So it's a frog snake. Alright, 3 mana for a 4/2. And if you got some blue in the deck, you can pay 4 mana and give it flying, right? I don't know. What does Mana Appear say about it? If the Fin Clade cannot produce a reliable venomous Crassus mobile in both air and water, then the Guardian Project will absorb its resources. Man, they told them they gotta make a viable creature that can both swim and fly, or they're taking their funding away. Man, the Simic. That is a correct response to that card. You're right. I spent more time on Steeple Creeper than I probably should, but it had funny art, funny text at least. Watchful Giant, 6 mana for a 3/6, and when it enters the battlefield, you get a 1/1 white human creature token. All right, so total you get 4 power and 7 toughness across 2 bodies for 6 mana. He's a big dude, you know. Art's pretty cool. I mean, I'm towering over everything, but he's a big Watchful Giant. All right, so Stoney Strength. Was this the card you guys were talking about? Put this on the new elf and stuff like that. Instant speed, 1 mana. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Untap that creature. That's not bad. That's not bad with the elf. The elf needs a +1/1 counter on it so that you can get a 3 mana out of it, and this would help you do that for 1 mana. That's probably this might be playable in certain decks. The untap that creature is a better combat trick than a lot of people would give it credit for, and this is probably a playable card. This is probably playable, guys. Morrowind the Nurturer bonus. Oh my goodness. Oh, McFats is already trying to break this card. Wow, yeah, Morrowind the Nurturer. You get to put the extra +1/1 counter on it, which helps. Then you get to tap Morrowind the Nurturer for even more mana. Like, again, so you tap Morrowind the Nurturer for, like, you know, 5 mana. Cast this with one of them. And then you tap her for 6 mana if you don't go ahead and spend the first 5. Like, wow. Yeah. This could be huge. This could be huge. Could have some like the untap that creature part is more important than we probably give it credit for. Like, we're looking at the +1/1 creature, but the untap part, that's a big piece right there. So Stoney Strength. Gonna have to keep you in mind. All right, Dead Rebels. A Spectacle of 2, so 4 mana naturally, sorcery speed, Spectacle 2. So if they've taken damage this turn, you can cast it for a Spectacle cost, and you get to return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. There's other cards out there that are much cheaper and easier to play that come from Rivals of Ixalan, or Ixalan, like March of the Drown. You can get back a creature or something like that. Might be a little bit more playable than Spectacle. I don't think this gets a ton of play, but it's okay. Right. Macabre Waltz. That's not a bad card either. So yeah, Moving on, we're gonna look at what are we on? What are we on? Dead Rebels. Sylvan Bush Strider. It enters the battlefield. You get 2 life. 3 mana for 3/2. And draft this. Be happy. Right. Right. Find Finale is better. There you go, James. Yeah, James brought up the really good card for Dead Rebels. This art. Oh my goodness. Debtors Transport. Like that creature. That creature is so funny looking, right? It's like this mole thing. Like it's like naked mole rat from Kim Possible or something. So, that's a Salvador Dali looking creature. I don't know, right? It's almost like a mustache hanging down and his bridle. What? Oh man, the reins. My bad. The reins. Been a long time since I talked about horses. It's an okay card. All right, the card's horrible. The art makes me laugh. All right. Afterlife 2. It's a thrall. 6 mana for a 5/3. By design, the sarcophagus muffles the debtor's moans, but does not silence them. Alright, so everybody's supposed to kind of hear him moan as they prance him around the city. Yeah, whatever. Afterlife 2. So, all in all, you get 7 power and 5 toughness across 3 bodies. Not all at the same time. Interesting card, but yeah, we're moving on. Grotesque Demise. Alright, so we get a 3 mana instant speed. Exile target creature with power 3 or less. Okay. Oh, thralls love to die. Is that a thing? Like they look forward to dying? Okay. Alright. It's like some brainwash stuff. Whatever. This could get play. Like if we needed some exile effects, yeah, exactly. Reaver's Ambush. It didn't get any play, and so we may not see this get any play because Reaver's Ambush is still a thing. Or is Reaver's Ambush gone now? Oh, it's Reaver's Ambush, but common. Alright, so maybe in Pauper or something like that. Again, like if exile becomes a thing where we're required to exile certain things, then this could definitely be worth using. But if we don't have to exile things, there's just better ways to do it. So Incubation Druid took you a while. Really good with Stoney Strength. Yes, Incubation Druid. Ambush is in Ixalan block. All right, so yeah, Reaver's Ambush. We don't use it now, but again, if the exile becomes relevant, we'll do that. So, where do all the normal people in Ravnica live? Well, they're not interesting enough to be on cards, Jareth, so we don't care about the normal people. Moving on to Territorial Boar. Alright, so this is a 2-mana 2/2, so it's automatically like playable in draft and stuff. Draft your 2/2s. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, this becomes a 3/3 and gains vigilance until end of turn. It's just getting that extra +1/+1. Right? It's a boar. It's probably just limited playable. Just okay. Right? Exile seems a little more relevant with Afterlife. We will have to see how how much that'll affect us. We may need the exile effects, but the Territorial Boar is just it's kind of like a baseline card, right? Ill-gotten Inheritance. So what do you think? Nah, that's messed up. Ill-gotten Inheritance. It's a 4-mana enchantment. Alright, so we've gotten a lot of really cool enchantments lately. Let's check this one out. For 4 mana, what do we get? At the beginning of your upkeep, Ill-gotten Inheritance deals 1 damage to each opponent and activates Spectacle. You gain 1 life. Pay 6 mana, it will deal 4 damage to target opponent, and you gain 4 life. You do have to sacrifice it to make that happen. Okay. Okay, I gotta see this. What kind of jokes do crayfish tell? Crawdad jokes. Dad jokes. This card might be playable in a spectacle deck. Like, you're gonna want ways to trigger spectacle, and this is gonna do it at the beginning of your upkeep every turn. Right? So, this card might be... This might be worth playing. Like, you could do stuff with this, right? Like this, it's just gonna slowly ping them to death. You're gonna gain life. Like, you're paying 4 mana for your Fountain of Renewal, but the fountain's poisoning your enemy. All right, it's life water for you, death for them. I don't know. I think it'd be really, really good to play with the with Spectacle, right? Yeah. Madness had to take off. I think Madness took off. He might have got mad when we silenced Rush. It's all quiet and junk. Yeah, maybe. Oh, it's all quiet because Madness ain't here. It's a great sealed card. Kills with a board stall. Yeah. Someone boards in the water hole. Yeah. Yeah, I see Spectacle when I see this card, so. Yep, he had to go bye-bye. Yeah. That's exactly what I see out of it. I mean, if you turn 3 Theater of Horrors, turn 4 this, you haven't done anything. So, I don't know if you want to take that line. Like, you're going to need some great catch-up card on turn 4, or sorry, turn 5 to be able to, you know, get back into the game. But having a copy of this card around might not be that bad. I don't know. The card looks interesting, and it's definitely a good spectacle enabler. So, all right, tower defense. Hey, isn't that a game? All right, 2 mana for instant speed. Creatures you control get +0/+5 and gain reach. I mean, that's a big butt you're putting on them, right? Like, Becky, look at that thing, right? Creatures you control +0/+5 and they gain reach. Yeah. Looks highly annoying. It's a genre of games, right? I mean, I love some tower defense games. I love tower defense. You wanted to ban chump blocking, and Wizards printed this. He wants to ban chump blocking. You can't chump block me. If you don't have a creature with power equal to my toughness, then you can't get in front of my creature. That might be a good card. That might be a good thing to play. Arcades decks will love it. Yeah. That's probably what I should have mentioned right there. Like, this is a finisher in Arcades for sure. This gives all of your creatures +0/+5. You do this before combat damage, and it is over, right? We're talking, if you got 3 creatures, that's an additional 15 damage coming at them. Most of your creatures probably got big bodies anyway. Yeah, this is a huge Arcades combat trick. So this will probably be in the Arcades decks for sure. Like, that's a really good point. Like, this is probably in Arcades all day long. Still don't like Arcades? Me either. I don't like butt bumping people. All right. Anyway, it's because I ain't got no butt, right? Like, I'm like a 7-1, you know. Like, all fight, no defense, right? Yeah, there we go. I'm a 7-1 for 2 mana. All right, I'm still broken. With haste. Anyway, somebody's gonna make that card, and it's gonna be so stupid. Anyway, 3 mana for a 2/2 with Death Touch. The art looks cool. That is one wicked looking creature. Like, that is wicked. Noxious Gorgodon. I don't know. Gorodon? Whatever. Wicked looking creature. Death Touch 2/2. I don't know. Sack at the end of turn, right? Yeah. No other. I like big butts and I cannot lie. No other creatures can deny. When arcade folks, and there, moving on. Moving on. Wrecking Beast here. We got a 7 mana 6/6 with Riot and Trample. So here you go. 7 mana 6/6 with Riot and Trample. Does anyone else think that this creature looks like Tremors? Remember? Anybody else remember Tremors? Like the original Tremors, when, you know, like Kevin Bacon's running out towards the end of the cliff, and then like he jumps off real quick, and the Tremor just runs out the end of the cliff. That is this scene. That's where this picture come from, right here. Like that's where this come from. So you get a 7 mana 7/7, or you get a 7 mana 6/6 with Trample and Haste. Probably not that bad. So yeah, looks like a mutated with Reba McEntire. That's right. Leslie also mentioned that's because that's what it looks like. Like the mouth on this creature looks exactly like that. Only the Tremor things didn't have those arms, right? So whatever. But yeah, okay, that works, right? Yeah, they didn't have. Yeah. Well, they later ended up getting legs, right? He's got legs. He just haven't broken through. Yeah, you can see his feet and stuff right here, like his little mole, like crab legs, whatever. Anyway, this card's it's a wrecking beast. It's a big bomb. Like if you pulled it, like this is going to be your like colossal dreadmaw draft and stuff. Like it might be worth it. Like just the fact that you could give it haste is pretty sweet. All right, let's get past Wrecking Beast and we'll get over to the Plague Rite. We get a 2 mana 2/1 in black. It's a zombie. That's usually a relevant creature type, right? Whenever a Plague Rite becomes block, each creature blocking it's -1/-1 until end of turn. That's interesting, right? Like you can't chump block this. Chump blocking this is against the rules. No, you don't get to put a 1/1 in front of this. It'll kill it. I like that. McFats, you should like this. Gruul didn't get a giant hasty spider. Was hoping for a giant Solifuge kind of card. What? Oh, man, you guys got to use words I can't pronounce. All right. I kind of like this. I mean, putting things in front of it. That's interesting. That's pretty interesting. I wish it also worked on creatures it blocked. Like, that would be even better. Like, it gets to chump block something. Yeah. Still chump blocks it, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. It still chump blocks it. Got us. You got us. You take away all the fun, Jareth. Alright, so we got a Rakdos Trumpeteer. Look at that trumpet, man. Look at that trumpet, that bullhorn. Man, they got a carnival going on over at Rakdos. It's a 2 mana 1/3 with Menace, and if you really want to pay 4 mana, like 1 red and 3 colorless, you can give it +2/+0 until end of turn. There's no restrictions on that, so you can do that at instant speed, and you can do it multiple times per turn. Menace itself's not bad. Got a little bit of evasion there. Cards just kind of, it's okay. So, what guild am I considering for pre-release? Ooh, that's a really good question, Adam. I think pre-release is going to be best played with flyers. So whatever guild's going to give me the most flyers, and I think that's probably Azorius. Azorius has got a ton of like flying capabilities and things like that. But even if you pick the guild, don't you still end up with like the other packs? It could be anything. So like you may pick the guild and not pull it, but I think I'd probably go with Azorius just because of like the limited capabilities and stuff. Just having flying seems really good, and I like flying in limited. So, and we've got a lot of good flyers in this set. So maybe, I don't know. I'd probably have to give that a little bit more thought. I am going to try to do a pre-release or sealed event on Wednesday, so you guys will be able to check that out. All right, Rakdos Trumpeteer. That's okay. All right, Spire Mangler. It's an insect. Look at that tail. Look at that tail. Chasing that little dove down, right? All right, so this one's interesting, okay? Yeah, Gruul actually looks really good too. Just because I would want to pull a Spellbreaker. I would just pray that there would be a Spellbreaker in my pack. Or a Domri raid, right? So pulling Gruul would be probably where the most money would be. Anyway, 3 mana for a 2/1 flash flying. When it enters the battlefield, target creature you control with flying. Wait a minute. When Spire Mangler enters the battlefield, target creature with flying you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So you can buff one of your other flyers and kind of get in there. So you just want to pull the Jellyfish Hydra. That seems good. The flash flying part's not bad. Like, I really like flash. I think Azorius Flash is going to be a decent deck. I seen where Star City Games had an Azorius Flash deck up where they were playing it. Haven't got a chance to watch that content yet, but I'll probably like fall asleep tonight watching that content. So we'll see how the Flash deck works. Might be some cards I want to use in that. So anyway, Spire Mangler, looks okay. Looks kind of playable. So Black White Angels, right? Like, you flash this in while Lyra is getting ready to block Carnage Tyrant. Just saying. Just saying. Justin Clay, what's up, sir? How you doing? Venifair and Simic Ascendancy. Flash Tribal. Oh, yeah. Why'd you have to do that, Jareth? Tribal. Alright. Thirsting Shade. Alright, so everyone knows that shades are normally pumpable, or some way to make them bigger. This one's got a 1 black and 2 colorless. You can give it +1/+1 until end of turn. You can repeat that as much as you want. It is a 1 mana 1/1 with lifelink. That is normally playable. Okay, like just saying 1 mana 1/1 with an ability is normally playable. Whether or not this one actually gets play, I don't know. But we'll see, right? Like, it doesn't require like 3 black mana to play this shade, but it does require a lot of mana to pump it. So maybe it's playable, maybe it's not playable. We'll see. All right, so I'll just move on. This is just it's a decent card. It's just decent. So, all right, Undercity Scavenger. Does anyone else think this looks like the Attack on Titan, right? Like somebody drew Attack on Titan, whatever. Anyway, Undercity Scavenger enters the battlefield. You may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put 2/+1/1 counters on it, then scry 2. So this would be a 4 mana 5/5 if you sack another dude. I don't know if the Judith deck will want to go to 4 mana, right? If it did, this would give you a really big bomb, so that like in your Aristocrats deck, you actually had something really big to drop out. So Undercity Scavenger could easily be that card. I don't know though. I mean, you want sack outlets in those decks, but I don't know if this is the one you're looking for. But it is a sack outlet, something to consider. You know, if you're just getting run over and you need like you just need a bigger body in that type of deck, this could be it. Tops out at 4, and it's a 4 mana 5/5. As long as you got like some afterlife creature you want to get rid of, this could be worth it. It could be worth it. All right, moving on. We've got Undercity's Embrace. All right, so the Scavenger will eat you, but the Undercity will embrace you. Undercity's Embrace. Instant speed, 3 mana. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, gain 4 life. In most sets, we have this effect in Standard. Currently, we have Volna's Hunger. Volna's Hunger is, that good old Standard Edict effect, right? You normally need a good Edict effect. One of my, I think, Thirsting, Hungering Thirst, or something like that. We've had a bunch of these over the past, but it's a Diabolic Edict. It's a 3 mana Diabolic Edict, and since you're paying the additional mana for it, these are normally 3 mana, and the baseline on these is if they're 3 mana, they need some additional effect to make them playable. And so the additional effect here is if you got a big dude, you get 4 extra life. it could be worth it. You're really just looking for a 3-mana sacrifice outlet right here. Now this is target opponent sacrifices a creature, so there we go. Whatever. Log on to MTGO, J Clay, and Jareth Miles can show you. Alright, just a decent card. It's good to know that we have an Edict effect. Right, Bonus Hunger is at least a pseudo board wipe. Right, like, Bonus Hunger is probably still better. Alright, Vindictive Vampire, I'm sorry. It's a 4-mana 2/3, so I don't like it right off the bat, but it is a vampire. And whenever another creature you control dies, this will deal 1 damage to each opponent, and you're going to gain a life. Hold on, let me read that again. What? Whenever another creature you control dies. I didn't say non-token creature, right? Any creature you control dies, it's going to deal 1 damage to each opponent, and you're going to gain a life. It's a 4-mana Blood Artist, guys. All right, this is 4 mana for your Blood Artist, but it's a 2/3. Okay. If the Aristocrats deck's going to top out at 4, it's probably not going to be for the for Attack on Titan. It's probably going to be for the Vindictive Vampire. All right. This is as good as Fel Spectre, right? Like Fel Spectre is one of those cards that it's a good card. There's things going on in there. That's what this is. Like, that you could build around this. If there's a good Aristocrats deck, then this might be what you want. Yeah, Poison Tipped Archer is not bad. If the Aristocrats deck does end up with green in it, you may want Poison Tipped Archer. You may want this. Again, it's any creature, so even your tokens that are dying, you get to do stuff. Could be worth it, man. Could be worth it. Yeah, it triggers on any other creature. Yeah, well, okay, yeah, there you go. It doesn't trigger when it dies, but all the other creatures. This might be an important part of the Aristocrats deck, so keep an eye out for a Vindictive Vampire. Alright, moving on. Hey, look, it's a reprint. Active Treason. Hey, give me that creature, it gains haste. I'm going to smack you with it. You can have it back at end of turn. Okay, moving on. Clamor Shaman. Clamor Shaman is a 3-mana 1/1 that has Riot, so it could be a 3-mana 2/2, or it could be a 3-mana 1/1 with haste. But whenever it attacks, target creature and opponent control can't block this turn. I don't think it's that great. You'll throw this in your... Oh, you got a Markov Commander deck, right? Lots of tokens, right? It probably fits there, Barry. I assume you already have Blood Artist and things like that in that deck, so... Right. More like Clamor Goblin. Yeah. Clamor Shaman. Right. It's a card. I don't think it gets much play, though. Alright. We do have Dagger Caster, though. You guys might... This one's serious. Alright? 4 mana for a 2/3. So, doesn't have first strikes, not a 3/3, but Viashino Rogue. Alright, so, whenever Daggercaster enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. If Goblin Chain Whirler is broken for that effect, the fact that this will be able to be played in 3 and 4 color decks might be worth it. When you don't want to spend red on Chain Whirler. That's exactly what this card is. You need the effect of Chain Whirler, but you don't want to spend red. You don't have the black for the pony. You know, to get -1/-1, right? This card could be good. This card could be Chain Whirler in multiple color decks. It's a Viashino Rogue. I kind of wish it would have been more like, you know, Flamecaster or something, and he would have been a wizard, Viashino Wizard. Like, that would have been cool. But I like the Rogue. I think the Like he's just reaching back, like throwing some daggers, right? You know, it's pretty cool. This card might get play, guys. Like this card might get play. Right, you're giving up some stuff. Like you don't have first strike, you don't have a lot of things, but if there's a bunch of tokens going on, man, this is just a nice little, yeah. Doesn't hit planeswalkers. That's right. You're giving up some stuff for not casting three red, but the effect of wiping all their 1/1s, that's still a thing. Like that's still a thing. Come on, where's Deface? Deface is loading. Ooh. Deface, Deface. Deface, Deface. I don't know what's up with that, but whatever. We get 1 mana, choose one. Destroy target artifact or destroy target creature with defending. Leave no stone unturned. Fair enough. So, yeah. Destroy target artifact, destroy target defender. It's like Smash, only get an extra effect. So, right. Next here we got Feral Maka? Maaka? I don't know. It's a 2 mana 2/2 with that's a cat. It's a red cat. 2 mana 2/2. Lost Star. You know what? I ain't even reading the flavor text on that one. It's 2 mana 2/2. That's all it is. All right, moving on here. We've got a 6 mana instant speed. Flames of the Rays. Boar. Okay, so it's Flames of the Rays, and it's a boar spell, right? So this is one of Domri Raid's spells, I guess. Flames of the Rays, boar, deals 4 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Then Flames of the Rays, boar, deals 2 damage to each other creature that player controls if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. This is ferocity. Like we've seen like ferocity type effects, like just being a mechanic, but this is just more and more of that. You know, you gotta have a creature with power 4 or greater in order to get the max benefit of it. Like there was an entire set that ferocity was a mechanic, and people like that we still play with Sarkhan's Unsealing. We play with Colossal Majesty and things like that. So 4 power is kind of that baseline. Like if you're playing a deck that has 4 power dudes in it, then you get away with playing some additional cards. I still don't know if I want to play. I still don't know if I want to pay 6 mana for a Fiery Cannonade. I don't know. A Fiery Cannonade that they can respond to. Okay, so they cast down your 4/4 in response, and now they get to keep all their little dudes. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so I mean it's a card. We should probably know about it, but all in all, whatever. I just want to know if we're going to get Flames of the Rays, bear, Flames of the Rays, something else. I mean, like, are there other Flames of the Rays spells? Fire will cure a multitude of ills. Seems good. Seems good. All right, Gore Clan Wrecker. All right, the Gore Clan Wrecker is a 4 mana 2/2 with Riot, so it could be a 4 mana 3/3, or it could be a 4 mana 2/2 with haste. Has menace. That's a little more than I really want to pay. What's up, Randolph? How you doing, sir? Why didn't they just reprint? What, right? Like ferocity could have just been a Flames of the Rays chicken, right? Oh my goodness. Ferocity could have been evergreen. I mean, we're seeing it kind of evergreen, so whatever. This card's just not playable, guys. Like, it's just not playable. Don't play this card. There's got to be a better card you can put in your deck than that. Alright, Goblin Gathering. This card's interesting. We've seen these effects in the past as well. Here, I'll read it. 3 mana. Create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to tokens equal to 2 plus the number of cards named Goblin Gathering in your graveyard. So the first one's going to make 2. The second one's going to make 3. The third one's going to make 4. And you know, if you find all 4 of them, then you make 5 for 3 mana. So the first one is just Goblin Instigator or Dragon Fodder. There we go. Since it's a sorcery, we'll call them by the spells. So yeah, accumulated goblins. That's exactly what it is, Jank. So yeah, the first one's a little bit below power. The second one is Hordling Outburst, and then you just kind of you escalate from there. So accumulated goblins. That's a good way to look at it. You listen to all 7 of the land. I've just started book 1. I am just starting book 1. Jareth Miles has been trying to get me to listen to the land for a while, so I'm gonna have to check it out. But yeah, Goblin Gathering. Let me cover my. Nope, that was not a Red Bull. You did not see that. Red Bull, pay me. Send me free Red Bull. Let's do this. I'll take a Red Bull sponsorship right now. Let's do this. 2 mana for a 2/1. Might be playable. It's a Goblin Shaman. And if you got 4 mana, you could give it +2/+2 until end of turn. You can do that multiple times. You can do it on your opponent's turn. Whatever. Card's alright. It's probably not playable. Let's face it. It's probably a better 2 mana spell than this, right? Tim Hortons can sponsor you. Yeah. Alright, moving on. We've got Rubble reading. Okay, so we're reading the Rubble. Alright, so a lot of you guys were talking about this card before. This is a 4 mana, destroy target land, scry 2. There's, land destruction is one of those archetypes like Meal. It'll break people's heart to be sitting there looking at a handful of cards and look down and they had land. They're all in a graveyard now. I don't have land no more, so I can't play these cards in my hand. That breaks people's heart, right? That does. Well, James Carr, this is the common dump, man. We don't have any rares here. These are all commons and uncommons. What'd you expect? It's a 4 mana land destruction with scry 2. Like, so now we just have more land destruction in the format. Could be alright. The more we get into multicolored decks, land destruction will become more prevalent because, you know, keeping them off of a certain color might be beneficial. So, just depends on where the meta goes. We may see some type of land destruction. Oh yes, there's been a lot of better land destruction decks or cards printed over time. There will be better ones in the future. They just really they really don't want us to have 3 or less than 4 mana land destruction. Like, if we ever see the printing of less than 4 mana land destruction, then that'll get some serious play, right? 1,000-Year Storm and that card. Well, that seems good, right? Scry, and boom. Yep. Or, you know, opt. You know, just do things. And then cast this with like 3 or 4 copies. Buy you a ton of time. Right? Right? Star of Extinction. There you go. See, I like this. Well, they said that they would never print land destruction under 4 mana anymore. Like, 4 mana is where they want the baseline of land destruction, and cards like Stone Rain were just, you know, too much. All right, we got Rubble Recluse. It's a 5 mana 6/5. It's a Juggernaut. It attacks each turn in Fable. You see these cards in certain decks from time to time. This is kind of like a pre-con deck card. Not horrible. Well priced, you know, 5 mana for a 6/5. It's got some restrictions on it. I'm not real big on the card, but he definitely reminds me of some kind of Margaret Wise character or something like that. So anyway, we're gonna move on to Rumbling Ruin. All right, Rumbling Ruin is 6 mana 6/6. When it enters the battlefield, count the number of +1/1 counters on creatures you control. Creatures your opponent control with power less than or equal to that number can't block this turn. What's important about this is the wording, right? Have you guys ever heard wording like this? Count the number of +1/+1 counters. Like, they're starting to simplify wording a little bit more, and that alone's probably a good thing, right? You know, let's make cards just make more sense, right? A little bit easier to understand. So, wording alone, like, we're seeing that, and that's probably a good thing, right? But creatures your opponent control with power less or equal to the number of counters you have on creatures can't block this turn. So that could be pretty good. I wish this was maybe like when it attacked, because you're not going to get anything out of the turn that this thing comes down other than swinging with all those creatures with 1/1 counters on them. So maybe, I don't know. Sinkhole. Oh my goodness. The card might be playable. I don't know. Like, we'd have to see if that 1/1 counter deck, like if there's a Simic deck with 1/1 counters that wants to, someone call a mod. Oh God. Are they making out in chat? Quit it. Anyway. I don't know. We'll see. If the Simic +1/1 counter deck ends up splashing red, you might see this, but I don't think so. Do I want to pay 6 mana? Not really. I sure don't. I'd rather just take out and make everything I have +1/1 counters just be unblockable, right? Like, it seems better. Just unblockable, period. Like, you can play Hoss and get through. Herald of Secret Streams get through easier than this. So, all right, we got Spear Spewer. This is an interesting card, right? It's a defender. It's a 0/2 for 1 mana. But you can tap it, and it'll deal 1 damage to each player. That's right. You're taking the pain, too. Will somebody tell that goblin to quit shooting me? That new Gruul Planeswalker could help that guy. Okay, yeah, give him haste so that he comes in with everything. Okay, all right. I see where you're going with that. So if you've got a lot of riot going on, you've given a lot of +1/1 counters to things, then maybe he could be. Then you're getting away with only paying 5 mana for him. Like, you could bring Domri down on 4, bring him down on 5. Okay, I see where you guys are going with this. That doesn't seem horrible. Spectacle is online. Yeah, it's online, all right. We've all taken damage. This dude's shooting bolts at everything. Or spears. I'm sorry, spears. Don't waste time aiming, you lazy gobslug. Fire! Krinko, mob boss. Oh. Why couldn't the skeleton get a date for the dance? I'm waiting. Why couldn't the skeleton get a date for the dance? This is a dad joke. We love dad jokes. He couldn't find anybody to go with. Yeah. Should it have been the skull? I don't know. Alright, dad jokes. Moving on. We get Spike Wheel Acrobat. 4 mana for a 5/2 with Spectacle of 3. I don't like 5/2s. But this could be playable for 3 mana. I doubt it. But maybe. Other than that, it's kind of one of those cards. Just one of those cards. If you could get Spectacle off reliable and only have to pay 3 mana for it, this might be playable. So, you're a fun guy? Some fun guy? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. It's my wife's dad joke. Right? Anytime you ask for a mushroom, he's like, "You want some fun guy?" Yeah. Yep. That's his dad joke. Storm Strike, 1 mana. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Scry 1. It's combat trick. Sure Strike is 3 for 2. You get first strike, but you get to look at another card here, right? you do get to look at another card here. So trading 4 drops for 1 drops is bad. Yeah, exactly. Trading 4 drops for 1 drops is typically bad. This card might be playable, but we don't play Sure Strike right now, and Sure Strike's almost like a lightning bolt. I don't know. This is it's fringe for me, but I will say that in limited, if you're going to play combat tricks, this one might not be too bad. So, yeah, it could be usable. I like the Scry 1 on it, so we'll see. Next here we have 10 Street Dodger. Okay, so he's just running. This little goblin is just running right past the dude. So we got a 1 mana 1/1 with haste. I like it already. I already like it. It's a 1 mana 1/1 with haste, but you could pay 1, and it can't be blocked by anything except for creatures with Defender. So you got nothing else to do. That 1/1 is still getting in. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. 1 mana 1/1 with haste, and you know, there you go. Right, maybe Drake's. Right, giving Drake's the first strike could be beneficial, and getting to Scry. Yeah, yeah, I like the Dodger too. Hello, says Barry. Hello, 10 Street Dodger. Welcome, welcome to the party. This is probably going to get play, guys. Love the number of 1/1 haste goblins right now. Right. Hello, Grandma Burn deck. Right, getting those extra points of damage in early seems great. This mixing along with cards like Siege Gang Commander, it's a goblin, so you could throw it for 2 damage at a later date. You can throw it after you've already like swung in, you know, things like that. So Goblin Burn seems okay. Yeah, Robbie, like this could probably get play, guys. Yeah, it's even better because we have Prospector. Oh yeah. Justin Clay says, I hope Giant Ballard gets better, gets more popular. Make that card become 20 bucks, guys. Make everyone want that card so Justin Clay can sell all of his copies. All right. Anyway, we're gonna move on. This card's probably playable, guys. So, all right, we get Applied Biomancy here for Simic colors. Choose one or both. Instant speed. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Simple, straight to the point. Again, you know, there's a lot of creatures out there that we want to put a +1/1 counter on, and there's always creatures we want to make our opponent have to cast a second time, right? But then again, there's some creatures that we don't want our opponents to have to cast a second time because we don't want that enter the battlefield trigger again. Like, I'm not putting a Ravenous Chupacabra in their hand. I'm going to give my creature +1/+1 and block the daggum thing. So we'll see. Return target creature to its owner's hand and give that +1/1 counter. It seems decent. It seems real decent. Like, this card probably going to be laying around in some decks, right? Yeah. Yeah, probably going to be in some decks. All right, so Applied Biomancy, more than likely playable. Azorius Knight Arbiter, 5 mana for a 2/5. It can't be blocked. It's got vigilance. 2/5 can't be blocked. Has vigilance. I don't want to pay 5 mana to get this out. If you ever did get it out and get a Curious Obsession on it, it's going to be like probably one of the better things you could ever have carry a Curious Obsession, or have carry any other enchantments. But the rest of this card is just kind of blah. 5 mana, like 4 mana, this would have been awesome. Moving on. Final payment. So we get Orzhov colors for an instant speed. As an additional cost to cast this spell, pay 5 life, or sacrifice a creature, or an enchantment, destroy target creature. Okay. Now at first I was like, this is bad, right? But then I got thinking about it. I was like, all right, I cast this, and even if I don't have, you know, the other, like, normally when we're looking at cards like Costly Plunder and cards that that require you to sacrifice a creature or discard a card or something like that, they're normally a step below other cards because you've got to have something else to make them work, right? Yeah, take care, Jareth. I'd say you got to go back to work. If he said he got to go, then that means like something broke down in the plant and he's got to go back to work. Anyway, Final Payment is one of those cards where you can get away with not having the other creature to sack. So you can just pay the 5 life and just move on from there. If you do have a creature to sack, then you can sack that creature or enchantment. This card's really, really good if we're running some type of Orzhov-based Aristocrats deck, right? Where we're wanting to find sack outlets, right? Like, if we're looking for sack outlets, then this might just fit in. And like, that won't be a restriction at all to have to, you know, sacrifice a creature. However, on the other side of it, if we don't have the creature, we don't have a dead card in our hand. So this might be worth it. It's definitely one to keep on the list, you know, of things to think about. So Final Payment, interesting, very, very interesting card. Get to the point. All right, 5 mana, destroy target creature, instant speed, scry 1. This is going to be there's a ton of removal in this draft, guys. When you guys are drafting this, there's so much removal to be had. This is a premium piece of that removal. If you're in these colors, you're going to want these. Destroy target creature, scry 1. It's 5 mana though, guys. Like, I can't justify paying 5 mana for this effect when there's murder, when there's, you know, bedevil, those type cards. But you know, in draft, common, you're gonna pick these up. You're gonna pick these up. All right, moving on to Law Mage's Binding. Law Mage. I mean, that's right. You put that clown in jail. Clowns. Ugh, I hate clowns. Anyway, you get Azorius Colors in 1 for a flash enchantment. Enchanted creature can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. So, like, you get, what is it, pacifism? Pacifism just can't attack. It's not Luminous Bonds because its activated abilities still can't be activated. But it's basically that effect, right? At instant speed. So, not horrible. It's not horrible. I mean, put this on a Doom Whisperer, you're feeling good, right? I guess Eric isn't playing Rakdos. Yeah, there's a lot of clowns in Rakdos sitting there. Oh. Oh, clowns. Alright. I don't have a fear of clowns, but they're creepy. They're creepy. Alright, Law Mage's Binding. Because it has flash, that's going to be a... Going back. And it's a common. This is a premium piece of removal. Like, this is a decent piece of removal. So... Alright, Rubble Bolt Runner. I already like this card as a Gruul 3 mana 3/3. It can't be blocked by creature tokens. So if you're playing Momir and you hit this, you got a clock right there because everything's a token in Momir, right? You're scared, depending on a clown. Rubble Bolt Runner. This card looks okay. I mean, if there's a lot of tokens out there, then this card may just be getting in. Again, this is going to be a bomb when you hit this on your 3-drop on Momir. Like, you're going to start playing at 3, maybe 4, and if you hit this on Momir, you're probably just going to win. So yeah, it's a cool card. I don't know how playable it'll be in Standard. Probably will never see play, but you know, it's a cool card in certain things. All right, we got Footlight Fiend. We get to see some hybrid mana here, right? Yeah, the 3/3 for 3 passes the vanilla test, so it's not a horrible card, but the effect, it just depends on where the meta goes for the effect will be worth a hoot or not. But Footlight Fiend here is a 1 mana 1/1. You can pay black or red, so it goes in your black decks, it goes in your red decks. It's really easy to cast early, and you know it. When it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target, like a standard wizard. So, yeah. Um, yeah. Oh, the clown feet, right? The clown feet. It's got the little devil. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, when it dies, it deals a damage. So it's like Goblin Arsonist or something like that. You know, not bad. Right? 16/16 indestructible means nothing when it can't block. That's right. That's right. This little devil. It's just clown faces that bother me, right? Like this creepy clown faces. Anyway, this card could be playable. I like the fact that this goes to it's Candle Devil, right? Footlight Fiend. And he lights up their feet. Yeah, he's got a little candle burning on his head. I like the fact this goes to any target. So, yeah. Dad joke in the flavor text. What? This footlight's broken. Get me a stagehand. Fair enough. Alright. Let's get to Gateway Plaza here. Gateway Plaza, this is a gate. Alright. Enters the battlefield, tap like the rest of the gates do. And when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you pay 1. And this will produce a mana of any color. So, if you got any of those lands that require you to have, you know, a gate or a land that'll produce, you know, certain colors. Now, this is mana fixing, right? But it's like Rupture Spire. You got to pay that extra mana. It costs a little much, so... call it, Bill. Alright. Man. Gateway Plaza. What a thing. This is probably playable. This is probably going to end up in the gate stack. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where the gate stack goes. Alright, so we're back to more hybrid mana here. We get Hybrid Gruul in 2 for a 2/3 with reach. It's cool. What does she got? Yeah, alright, she's got her slingshot. It's a rubble slinger. So she's just picking up pieces of the forest and just chunking it at people. Alright. It might be playable. I doubt it, but maybe. We're going to move on to Scuttlegator. Scuttlegator. Alright, so we get Simic. Alright, so double Simic hybrid mana and 4 generic mana for a 6/6 with Defender. And it has Adept 3. You gotta pay 8 mana for Adept 3 on this thing. But as long as you get that +1/+1 counter on it, hey, you can attack as though it didn't have Defender. So if you do get to pay for the Adept 3 on it, you get the 9/9 that can attack as though it didn't have Defender. It's a Crab Turtle Crocodile. Yep, Crab Turtle Crocodile. Love these creature types. Alright, moving on. Senate Griffin. Alright, so this is the Azorius, so double Azorius hybrid mana and 2 generic for a 3/2 flyer. And when it enters the battlefield, you get to scry 1. This is going to be a limited bomb, guys. Pull this card in limited, pay your 4 mana for your 3/2 flyer, and beat your opponent to death. Like, this is not that bad. It's going to be really flexible on your mana. And, you know, you're probably not going to have a ton of mana fixing in your limited decks. So, you know, if you pull all your white, or you pull all your blue, or any combination thereof, you can still cast your Senate Griffin. This is probably going to be really good in limited. I would definitely keep my eye out on it, and I would make sure that I had a way to kill this thing. So, yeah. Respect sticking to your guns. Yeah. Well, alright. Junk Trawler. Man, ain't no scrap trawler, but whatever. You get this little effect where you can tap it and put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. It's a 0/6 defender for 4. It's still an artifact, so dies to artifact removal. That's a thing. But you could like fight cards like Search for Escanta and stuff like that with it. So you just keep like you just get to like keep keeping, like, getting cards out of their graveyard. It does give you a little bit of interaction. This will be decent in the Arcades deck and things like that. So again, back to, you know, Arcades. You know, we get another defender. It's probably worth thinking about. All right, moving on here. There's so many cards. All right, so we get a Orzhov hybrid mana and 2 for a 3/1 with lifelink. 3/1 with lifelink. No other abilities. Flexible. Mana base. Probably not any more playable than the other, you know, 3 mana 3/1s that we were looking at. We do get Screaming Shield. Even the person carrying the shield doesn't want to scream at it. Can you imagine, like, running across, like, combat, swinging at and the shield just screams at you? Ah! Okay, alright, fine. Leave me alone, shield. Alright, equipped creature gets +0/+3 and has pay 2 mana tap. Target player puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. Equip for 3 mana. So cost, play it on turn 1, play, you know, some mill dude on turn 2. And then play, or attach this on turn 3. Starting turn 4, you're milling them 3 cards per turn. Okay, I'm sure somebody will learn how to break this. I don't know, but Screaming Shield, just scream, Screaming Shield. All right, Shieldbringer, 5 mana for a 3/3 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, Frost Breath, target creature an opponent controls. Frost Breath is, you know, the ability of they don't untap during their controller's next untap step. So, Shieldbringer just comes in, taps down your opponent's creature, and you get to hang out for a turn, right? That shield needs a timeout, right? What's next? Singing Sword. Sure. All right, so we're going on to Clear the Mind. This is a 3 mana target. Player shuffles their graveyard into their library, draw a card. This could beat Bant Nexus. This card alone could just cause Bant Nexus to whiff. Right, so they're going to spend the entire early part of the game trying to make sure that they thin their deck out. And then, you know, they're getting their hand constructed down to, you know, they've spent all of their draw cards and things like that, and now they're ready to start going off. And you're like, you know what? Now's the time. Go ahead and just shuffle your whole graveyard right back into your library. And they're like, well, now I'll never go off. I'll just hit all these revitalize again. It could be okay. This card could see play just for that effect. Other than that, I don't see. Then they play negate, right? You're right. Fair enough. That's the only place I can see it. I was stretching. I was going for some way to play this card, but that was all I could find. You guys might be able to come up with something better than I did. All right, Code of Constraint. Code of Constraint, 3 mana. Target creature gets -4, -0 until end of turn. Draw a card, and then it has addendum. So if you play it during your main phase, you get to Frost Breath something. Tap that creature, and it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So I'm gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna stop damage from something. Like, I don't know. Like, so you just need to be swinging through it or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Make a bunch of bat tokens. That could be a thing, right? All right. Code of Constraint. Wall of Lost Thoughts. All right, so it's a 2 mana 0/4, and when it enters the battlefield, target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. It's probably a really, really good card to put the Screaming Shield on, right? Because you needed a 2 mana to line up with the curve of Screaming Shield, and once you actually attach the Screaming Shield to this, this thing's a 0/7, right? So, there we go. Yeah, Aether Meltdown didn't draw a card. True. Aether Meltdown did not draw a card, but Aether Meltdown was also an enchantment, right? Just saying. Just saying. But Wall of Lost Thoughts here, this would be good with the Screaming Shield. So, You miss Thing in the Ice. Me too, Barry. Thing in the Ice was a great card. I still have my foils. Alright. Coral Commando. It's a 3-mana 3/2. And it has no other abilities. So there's a 3-mana 3/2 in blue. Alright, we get double blue and 1 for Thought Collapse. Wow. Instant speed, counter target spell. Its controller puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. Hey, Mill fans, there's a counter spell for you. He looks like Mr. Freeze. Fair enough, right? Or if you watch Gotham, Mr. Fries, right? This card will get play in those mill decks, right? Mind blown. That's right. His mind has been blown. I like it. I like it. What's the flavor text? I can't think of no greater punishment than answering your question in full. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm going to tell you everything. The art on this. Fairy Duelist. You get a flash flying for 2 mana, 1/2. When it enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent control gets -2, -0 until end of turn. Sure, right? Like, I just want to flash this in front of an Adanto Vanguard and be like, what the? Because the Adanto Vanguard, like, he's got his sword out, he's coming, right? Well, the fairy, he's like, I'll get you. So you make your Adanto Vanguard back to back to a smaller size, block it. They got to pay 4 life to stop it from dying. It's a fun little card. It could probably get some play. Flash is interesting anyway. Also, it's got flying. I don't know. Yeah, great art in this set. Like, just looking at the cards, there's so much fun there. But yeah, little Fairy Duelist. I like this card. Just because you love Flash, right? Yeah, this creature might get play, guys. All right, so we're gonna go to swirling. It's a Swirling Torrent. Swirling Torrent is a 6-mana sorcery, and you get to choose one or both. Put target creature on top of its owner's library. Return target creature to its owner's hand. So bounce that, redraw that. You're going to time walk them. They have to recast both of these spells. Heaven forbid you got to put 2 things back that cost more than they could cast in a single turn. It's a big effect, and that's why it's 6 mana. 6 mana is still probably too much, though, right? Like, for 5 mana, this might have been playable. 5 mana instant, it would have definitely been playable. But yeah, it is a really powerful card. But again, 6 mana and sorcery speed. Ugh, right? I'm not game. I'm not game. 6 mana should be a game winner in your opinion. Well, fair enough. Putting 2 of their big blockers, like getting two blockers out of the way, could be game winning, man. It could be. I'm still not interested in playing it though. However, in limited, this could be the bomb diggity removal you need. I don't know. Could be the bomb diggity. All right, moving on. We got Prying Eyes, another 6 mana card, but it's instant speed. So, double blue and 4, draw 4 cards and discard 2 cards. No disclaimer, no way to get out of discarding 2 cards. Draw 4, discard 2. Alright, I know it's 6 mana, but it says draw 4 cards. We have to at least respect the possibility that instant speed card draw might be played. Like, there might be a copy of this show up in a control deck somewhere, guys. I'm not going to write it out. It says draw 4. We have to respect the fact that instant speed draw 4 is there. And if you're playing Arena and you got a bunch of lands laying around, I don't know. Yeah, but draw, like, we still have to consider the fact that this might get a little bit of play. Like, you might see 1 or 2 copies of this show up in some decks. So it could happen. I'm not going to say it won't happen. I'm not going to say it's great. I don't really like the price. 5 mana, and I would have probably been all over this. 6 mana, and I'm kind of like, eh. Right? Eh. So, alright, so we got Slime Blind. That's cool art, man. Oh, Nickelodeon got him. Oh, Nickelodeon got him good. Alright, so 2 mana for a flash enchantment. There you go. There's your card. You guys were talking about Aether Meltdown earlier. It was an enchantment that gave -4/-0 to a creature or a vehicle. There you go. There it is. It's only on a creature. You won't hit a vehicle, but yeah, get gacked, right? Yeah, Nickelodeon got him. At that point, why not play Overwhelming Insight? Because that's a sorcery. That would be why. Because with the last card, it's instant speed, and I can hold up a counter spell until the end of your turn, and then when you don't do anything, then draw 4, right? Right. This is Aether Meltdown without hitting a vehicle, and it doesn't produce energy. So, yeah. Don't stand in front of the Hulk during that was wrong, Tier 1 Jank. I am moving on. Sage Rose Savant. We get a 2 mana 2/1, and when it enters the battlefield, scry 2. It is a Vidalcan wizard. It's a wizard, 2 mana, and that's it. 7 versus 4, and instant speed. Instant speed makes all the difference. I'm just going to stick with that, especially where you're wanting to play it in a control deck. Instant speed makes all the difference. However, you can make other people draw with the Overwhelming Insight. I believe that says target player draws 7 cards. So in like some 1000-Year Storm, you could use that to like do it to them 7 or 8 times and make them draw out their deck. Like, so I don't know. I don't know, James. Personally, I don't think we should be playing either one of the 2 cards. So we'll see though. It's just the fact that when they put draw at instant speed, we have to kind of respect it. Just saying. Senate Courier is a 3 mana 1/4 with flying, and if you got white in the deck, you can play 1 white and 1 colorless and give it vigilance until end of turn. That's not the greatest thing in the world. I doubt this gets much play, so yeah. Oh man, Galleon and Arcades? What? Alright, so we get a Skittering Eel, which is a fish crab. This creature is wicked looking. It's a 4 mana 3/3 with Adept 2 for 3 mana on it. It's, you know, the Simic abilities in a pure blue card, so that might be something that we should look at. So all in all, it's a 4 mana 3/3. Next turn you can turn into a 4 mana 5/5. Well, actually, at that point you've spent 7 mana making it a 5/5. I don't know. I don't really think it gets played, but whatever. Shimmer of Possibility, 2 mana sorcery. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. What, crabfish? Does sound delicious, doesn't it? Eel sounds delicious. I like some eel. Shimmer of Possibility. You get to look at 4 cards and take the best of 4 cards for 2 mana. This is another one of those cards that we probably need to respect, and if there are any type of... Right, sorcery speed, impulse. If there are any type of combo decks in the format, we really, really have to respect this card, right? Because it's digging so deep that it's going to help them get those combo pieces. Anticipates instant speed, looking at 3, putting 1 in your hand. You know, this card could be played, and if there are combo decks, this will get played just because of how deep it'll let you look. So, Shimmer of Possibility. Pick up your copies. All right, what else we got here? What? No more? Was that it? Guys, we've made it through all the spoilers. That was the last one. Well, I want to thank everyone for hanging out. Like, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning here, and all of you hung out with me to talk about these spoilers. For everyone watching in in the future here on YouTube. Thanks for watching the content if you made it this far. We had a lot of fun talking about these spoilers. I hope you had a lot of fun, you know, talking about them with us or looking over it. So, as always, thanks for tuning in. My name's Eric. I had a lot of fun. Hope you had fun. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody. I guess I want to do a little postscript here before I log off. What was your favorite card from the night? Out of all the commons and uncommons, like, what are you most excited for? Right? Just let me know in the comments. Let me know here in chat. I would like to know what you think is the most playable of the cards that we've seen. Like, what could actually get play? I'm going to go ahead and say Shimmer of Possibilities is a pretty good possibility, but there's some other cards that I think would get play too. So, I guess picking one of those out. I think the new counterspell is going to be decent, so that's okay. My favorite card of the night was where's it at? Justicar's Portal. Yeah, I think Justicar's Portal. There it is. This is my pick for playable cards in Standard. White Addendum 3 or 5 damage isn't bad. Yeah, that card isn't bad either. The Spear Goblin. The Spear Goblin's a lot of fun. Yeah. My pick's Justicar's Portal. I think this card is, like, stupid good. So, anyway, let me know in the comments. Would love to hear what you guys got. And then that's about all I got. Didn't see the whole video, but you're most excited for Soothing Tide and the Flash Angel that saves you from dying. Okay, yeah, definitely. Those were in previous videos, but yeah, I was talking about out of the commons and uncommons that we got in that last dump. But yeah, put any card that you're excited about from the new set. I would love to hear what you guys are excited about playing with. And good night, all. Favorite card, your janky sense is Tingling. You see a lot of fun in the set, right? There is going to be a ton. What did I say? Soothing Tide, Smothering Tithe. My bad. There's going to be a lot of jank. There's going to be a lot of fun to be had. I look forward to seeing your guys' brews and builds. As always, you know, if you do have builds, go post those over on the Sideboard MTG subreddit. It doesn't cost a thing to post decks. So you wish Sultai would have more playable. Sadly, Sultai may end up waiting till the 3rd set. We'll see. Either way, guys, that's all I've got for tonight. I hope everyone had a good time. We'll see you next time.